Hiya, it's Kareem from Keeper's Nursery. Today is the 7th of December 2025. It is a pretty miserable day. It's not too cold actually, just wet all day like this. It's a pretty typical day here in Kent at this time of the year. It hasn't really been too cold yet. It's relatively mild. I'd say it is, it's close-ish to 10 degrees today, which is absolutely fine. We've probably had, well, by the end of today we'll probably have at least 35 millimeters of rain this week, which makes things pretty wet. It's pretty saturated underfoot. Not actually here, we're on a bit of a hill, so we're in the valley. Things do drain away, but yeah, it's I did just watch Stephen's skill cult video that him and his chum picking apples in early December in Northern California, and it just looks really sunny, blue skies, all the leaves are still on the trees. Yeah, I'm a bit jealous of that. It reminds me of that old song, sort of California Dreaming, where yeah, it is just pretty, it's different here. Also, I'm very, very busy. My hands are starting to get wrecked. I'm digging up hundreds of trees, not every day, but a lot of days, and packing them and sending them out. And I'm in the barn in the dark, which, yeah, I don't go crazy. I've got lovely photos of my children up on the walls, but it's that time of the year. There aren't that many apples left to try. I have some nice apples in storage. There are some apples on the trees still. I will go through them. The idea of the video today is to just show you an update of what I've been doing. It is an incredibly busy time of the year to get things out before Christmas time. Annoyingly, that thing called Black Friday came about, and actually our courier was actually struggling to send out parcels because I spoke to the courier driver. Well, she's actually one of the managers. She said they get about 2,000 extra orders per day during this period. That equates to roughly 20 extra drivers that they have to pull out of thin air to fulfill these orders. Therefore, they actually have to shut down operations in certain parts of the countries. It's pretty mad. And then obviously after Black Friday, you don't need the extra 20 drivers. So, think people, this doesn't really work out. But never mind, our trees stay in the ground until they're ready to be dug up. So I've actually sort of, trees don't end up in warehouses. They stay here until they're ready to go. Anyway, yeah, we'll try some apples. I have some exciting news, which I'll show you right now. So I'm going to pause the video. Ta-da! So I have recently invested a large amount of money in a big glass house, because who doesn't need a almost 70 square meter glass house to breed apples? Well, I do. Do I? Who knows? But I have actually pretty much got one now. It is very roomy inside. Thanks to Tony and Tony for doing this, and Uncle Ian. I imagine the acoustics in there are terrible for this video, so I'll just do it outside. Nice slidey doors. Yeah, the gutters aren't, it's not quite finished. That will be, well, be a bit of an experiment this year. I was explaining to my children just now at breakfast the idea of not putting all your eggs in one basket. I'm not going to grow all of my seedlings in there this summer because I don't know how hot it's going to get in there. It might get really hot. It's got loads of vents in, and I've got the blinds for it as well. I don't think apple trees really want like 50 degrees plus. So I'm just going to try to grow maybe 1,000 seedlings in there and see what they turn out like. But yeah, loads of fun. I will also get myself some exotic type plants, loquats and things, and grow them in there, maybe some citrus, because why not? Maybe some of the indoor grape varieties. Really try and have a bit of fun in there. I've never really obviously also I will be growing figs and mulberries for the nursery in there, and other things that you grow from sort of cuttings. They do work incredibly well. So growing them in there will actually be quite handy. But yeah, it's primarily for apple breeding because, as some of you know, I breed apples, and I mean, this year's been quite fruitful in terms of how many seeds I've got on the go, which is a bit mad. They are actually germinating as we speak, so I'll actually quickly show you that as well. So here we are at the fridge, which is full of hummus pots, full of seeds. And inside the hummus pot, so it's got the name on and the date. So that's Bethan crossed with Vista Bella, and so I collected those on the 3rd of September. Bear with me. I have not opened all of these because I do not have time right now. I also put the name inside so that I don't lose things. People worry about hygiene with these things. Really, it doesn't matter. A bit of mold on the kitchen roll don't matter. Thank you, Mr. Blitz. Here's your maybe I'll get a sponsorship from Blitz. Look, as you can see, they are germinating. So I'm gonna actually have to find time to start potting these bad boys up. So obviously not all of them were collected on the 3rd of September. I'm gonna spend many an evening potting these up now, which is really annoying because I haven't got much time right now. But hey, it's fun, it's good fun. So the other thing I've wanted to show in here was, so I've got some apples in storage. These are a very nice variety, so not that one. So this is called Cheerful Gold, Nouveau Cheerful Gold. This is probably one of my favorite late season apples, and each year I think more and more about how this is actually almost a perfect late season apple. It's got that lovely Cox flavor to it. It does not deteriorate. Look at that hand. And look at that. That's what my kids gave me this morning. It does not deteriorate in terms of texture or flavor for a while. It's fantastic. I would usually pick these off the tree. I decided to pick a few trays of these and store them in the house. It produces loads each year and they're all of high quality. You don't get sort of mixed bag. You don't get the undersized ones. So if you think about something like, I mean, certain varieties like this year, Scrumptious, also something like Rubinet, you get the undersized fruit, which is pretty tasteless actually. This doesn't have that issue. So Nouveau Cheerful Gold with 2 L's. That's a really good one. So that's a John Breach variety. He's pretty local to me actually. This is the other one. This is another one I've got in storage. This is Topaz. Loses its flavor a little bit actually. So the richness of flavor is nowhere near as good. It stores quite well. I remember once I had one of these just lying in a golf bag from the autumn. I decided to play golf like most people do in the spring after the winter. I play golf like once a year or twice a year. Twice a year, as it turned out that, well, that's that season. And yeah, it was completely fine after spending the entire winter in the garage in a golf bag. So that's very nice. I've also got a few gold rushes. The reason I picked all of these was because we did actually have a frost one night where it went down to at least -5, but they were fine. So here we've got a few seedlings which I actually took out to try after storage. So I'll try one now. So these have probably been in storage for a few weeks or close to a month. The best one is Primrose Pippin. So this is a fantastic apple. Obviously I've raved on and on about this variety. This is also known as Seedling 82. So this one has actually sort of been officially named now. I went to, sorry if the camera keeps going in and out of focus. I took this to, well, RHS meetings. Fruit ID also accepted the name, even though there is another Primrose Pippin that Derek from Burnwood Nursery sells, but that's just a Wyken Pippin synonym. This Primrose Pippin is a Gold Rush crossed with a Riker. It's fantastic. It's literally fantastic. I've given this apple to many, many sort of fruit people I know in the country. I sent it to Rob Smith, the allotment guy. He really liked it as well. Yeah, just various other people. I think this apple will be big. It might be available at the local farm shop within a few years, actually, because Dave Farmer, as his name is, he really liked it as well. So he might start actually selling this as a fruit, which people can buy, which would be really cool for people local to here. Not really anyone I don't know where people are watching this, but probably not down the road, but maybe. Actually, many people who came to pick up their trees this year did actually mention that they watched my videos, which was really cool. Let me turn more lights on. Okay, so let's try some of these. So this is Primrose Pippin. No, it's still very good. It is starting to dry out a little, but in terms of the richness of flavor and the sweetness, it is still fantastic. I'm going to hold on to this as reference when we go down there to try more apples. This is seedling 66. So these apples that I also picked were basically good. I thought there was something good about the apple, but in my notes they were quite bad because I thought that the apple never really ripened. And I would like to know how they taste after a bit of storage. I'll try that one actually, because that one was softening the most. An interesting apple. The skin is very tough. It's all right. I mean, it's a sort of a 3 out of 5. I finished this apple. Certainly the skin is a bit annoying actually, but the flavor is very nice for the apple itself. This is seedling 70, so this feels a little bit firmer. These are probably both Riker seedlings. That is much nicer than the other one. Still very juicy. All of the seedlings here, as in all the 60s, all of the 70s, are quite nice actually, in terms of their firmness. That is pretty good actually. I'll hold on to that as reference as well when I go out into the nursery. And finally, seedling, I mean, these are a bit funny looking. These are seedling 20. I almost grubbed out this tree. So this year alone, I grubbed out another 16 trees just because I thought, sod it, I'm going to get rid of them. In total, I've probably chucked out at least 45 of the 150 seedlings. And that's just because I'm getting to the point where I'll have thousands of these. And if a tree doesn't perform particularly well for a few years in a row, it's out of there, unfortunately, because although the fruit does change after the first year, and you do have to try them for several years because the flavors, well, you don't know when the tree is going to be ripe. You don't know if it's actually a good season for it. You don't know if you've caught it at the right time. All these things, you might have overcropped, might have undercropped, might be the first year it's cropping. After a few years, you're like, hang on, if there's a major flaw with the apple that you can't get over, like it's too sweet, has no acidity, or it's too dense, or whatever, it's too mushy, you just got to get rid of it, because there's so many apples that are sort of decent apples. So many seedlings are just pretty good apples that, you know, there isn't anything particularly wrong with it. It's just not exceptional. Anything that has got something obviously wrong with it, you just get rid of, unfortunately. So I almost got rid of this because it was always, by sort of mid-November, it was always just like, well, this apple's still not very good. So this year I'm actually, and at the point where I was going to grub the tree out, saw in hand, I thought, okay, hang on, this apple might need a bit of storage. So let's see if 20's improved anymore, or it might improve into January. Let's see. So the Kids Orange Red season, the flavor is really nice. It's a little bit dense and dry with tough skin, but certainly the flavor is good. So I'd say this is a solid 3. So I will now keep this tree. That's nice. Yeah, shame it's yeah, I mean, texture's not amazing, but that's because I'm being fussy. Compared to something like the Primrose Pippin, that just melts in your mouth. Okay, off we go. So I'm back out in the nursery just to show you the trees, if you are interested at all in the nursery side of what I do. Look how garish the green is. This is what it's like in the winter here. You get this bright green color where all the grass is. You still have the lovely sort of colours on some of these. Are actually primrose pippin leaves. These are all maidens for sale this year. I think there's still loads available because I'm not great at... Actually, people are buying them from these sorts of videos, but yeah, understandably, a new variety takes a while to establish. So these trees all behind me, it's probably about 6,000 trees or 7,000 trees here. These are the maidens I produce to sell. So there's apples here, there's plums and pears and cherries and other things further away, back that way. Yeah, they're all they're the ones that I sell. So I produce these trees. If if you're in the UK, you can buy them. If you're not in the UK, you can't buy them. But yeah, basically these are all just maiden trees. These are in single rows right here. I usually grow them in double rows, and then you got next year's stuff there, and then you got the next year's stuff where I've sprayed off the grass, where I will plant in the March time. So yeah, usually everything's in double rows. Decent sized trees this year actually for apples. Some years you just get perfect weather, and I think this year we've had perfect weather here. Maybe a bit cooler now would be great. So over here we've got more seedlings. I will eventually actually wire this up and put some put it in properly. Basically the trees started snapping in the wind because these are all on M9, and if anyone knows about M9, this is M9 down here, this rootstock. It's quite brittle. Actually, someone was asking me about this, how to get your own rootstocks. These are all basically freebie rootstocks. If you, let me walk around here and find some actually, if there are any sticking out of the ground. So basically these were snapping in the wind because it's quite a brittle rootstock, M9. It sort of unfortunately transfers this beautiful sort of dwarfing, well, the dwarfing root is basically quite a weak root, and you end up with a brittle tree. And a brittle tree means that your tree might snap in the wind, especially when it grows really tall because it was good weather. And I will find the rootstocks in a sec, but yeah, a few of these, not that one, a few further down were snapping. It was just one day. It looks like I've sort of had an IV. A few snapped, so I temporarily put the posts in, but then it was quite dry when I put the posts in, so that's why I'm going to redo the post later and then actually put wire. I didn't want to put tense wire on posts that were not all in the ground properly. Sorry, that was a really rubbish explanation of what I'm doing. Anyway, these trees here, just to indicate what these are obviously, I say obviously, these are all seedling varieties. That's sort of the name of that means that it's an open pollinated Rica. These are the numbers of what so this is seedling 1038 and that's its grid position 527046. I've actually had to redo the numbers because yeah, I think I can only store them as 6-digit numbers on the so I can only store them as 6-character numbers on our database system. So yeah, when I went over 999, it was a bit like the millennium bug, and since printing out these labels, I've redone the numbers, which is a pain in the bum, but it will have more information because it'll say what year everything was. So this is, for example, this was grafted in 2024, so obviously this year is 2025. For those of you watching this in 2055, this was a long time ago. So this rootstock was planted in the ground in March 2024, and it was already 2 years old. So that was a 2-year-old M9 rootstock. It grew for the whole of the season of 2024. This bit which was grafted on, it was let me get my years right. So it was a seed from 2023. So in the 2023 season, obviously I don't know who pollinated the Rica. I collected the seed in late 2023. I germinated it over the winter time and grew the seedling for one season in under glass, not in my glass house yet, because that's being built now, but in a sort of temporary glass house thing. So in 2024, the seedling grew to about not quite 2 meters, or close to 2 meters, hopefully. I grafted near enough the tip of that onto here. And actually the bits I was using to graft with were probably little whippy. So I was using chip budding on stuff this big. Apple chip budding is easy. I'm pretty good at it, and I will graft with small stuff. Maybe at most I was going back down to something like this. I wouldn't use the very tip because this stuff is way too thin for chip budding. So then in 2025, in March 2025, I cut the top off, and all of this growth would have been from this season, and now it's going into dormancy. And if you look at these seedlings, it is very good that although you've still got some juvenile growth here where you get the horizontal sideways growth, by the top of the tree the juvenile growth sort of stops. You don't get the horizontal branches, you get the nice big leaves, as opposed to this is sort of just to show you on my really nice Adidas tracksuit bottom, this is sort of juvenile leaf growth, which you get these small little leaves, and then this is what's happening at the tops where you get sort of more mature looking leaf growth, and that is very similar to leaf growth from a sort of known variety which is already fruiting. So that's already fruiting wood. So I am actually hedging I'm speaking before the event has happened, so I might be wrong, but I reckon a lot of these will actually flower this year, and that's going to be quite cool. Because why is that cool? That means that we're going to get hopefully lots more things like this seedling 82, which I named as Primrose Pippin. So at this point I have named moving the camera around. So at this point I've approximately named, I don't know, 16 of my varieties. They're not all available to buy, so presently the ones that are for sale are things like Primrose Pippin, Hamid's Red Pippin, Bethan, all named after family members. There's also St Helens, which is named after the school, which is right there. The children sort of did the apple breeding thing with me. At least in 2015 they collected some seeds as well, and it was one of their seeds, which is a Scrumptious Sunrise, I think. But that's a really nice summer apple, as you could probably guess from the parent. And yeah, those are available. Seedling 79 will be available next year. I will trademark the name Seema June, so that'll be named after my mum, Seema, in Iran. In Farsi, or Iran. Farsi is the language. You put the word June or John for basically for men, June is for women, but I think you can actually use it. No, you can use it either way actually. It basically means like darling, and you say that basically after everyone's name. So I'm Karim John or Karim June, and it's something that you sort of, I know in other cultures people always say that as well, but it's how my mum wants my children to refer to her, but they call her Wawa Seema June, or Wawa, which is sort of grandma in a way a baby says it. So that's her. She always drills it into them. She's like, my name's Seema June, not like Wawa. And it's like, this is what the nice babies are calling you. Anyway, so there will be an apple called Seema June. That is a really nice apple. Don't actually know what the dad is of that apple. I know it's a Riker seedling as well. It's seedling 79. It is a really nice apple. Is it as good as Primrose Pippin? I slightly prefer Primrose Pippin, but it has more acidity. Appearance wise, it is better. It is a stunning apple. Primrose Pippin the first time I tried, I'm still looking for a rootstock, by the way. Primrose Pippin, the first time it flowered, the first time it flowered would have been let me think. So it's the fourth year I've tried it. So 25, 24, 23, 2022. So it was on the 14th of November 2022. It was a really rubbish day like today, but it would have been almost 20 days ago, or over 20 days ago, and I basically decided I'll do one last sort of hurrah, walk through the nursery, walk through the seedlings and try what apples are left. And I happened to come across a sort of yellowish apple with a slight sort of red color to it, and yeah, that basically changed everything, because that apple was exceptional, and I probably haven't stopped thinking about that apple since. That really sort of, that's when, you know, it was all, holy crap, like these these seedlings are way better than the current varieties. What's going on? Why is it so? How have I done this? I would say Sima June is really good as well, but yeah, that was the game changer. So it was just over 4 years ago, and it was on a rubbish day, and I just went out there, and suddenly I was like, "Ha, this is really, really good." And I genuinely haven't stopped thinking about. I don't know. Do I think about this apple every day? Not every day. I'm not some like psychopath who like studies the. I don't know. Who stares at pictures of it every day? But it is. Yeah, it is that good. I'm sure everyone who tries it loves it. I'm sure it will be a big deal one day. But yeah, this breeding thing is actually quite cool. And it will. It's going to take up a bigger chunk of my life, especially now with the glass house right there. Anyway, the rootstock thing. Here you go. This is a rootstock. So when I'm digging up, especially these M9s, which have been really annoying. Sorry, this video is all over the place, but I'm just doing it because I don't want to go into the barn and pack trees right now. Look at this. So these things here, these suckers, and I'm sure you get these after you plant them, but especially on a rootstock like M9. So over here, we've got one of the Geneva rootstocks. So this is Geneva 210. You don't really get any suckers. These M9s are full of suckers. And all of these suckers, you could actually use them all as rootstock. So if you wanted to propagate your own trees, if you have an basically if you've got suckers growing underneath your trees, I suppose all of these I've actually dug up. So there's one that failed to grow, actually. That was a failed graft. And you can't really use the wood there unless you plant up. You know, if you plant up, so like you make a mound, this bit will be under the soil and it will actually start rooting. But something like that, that is a complete plant. I'm not going to keep that. I'm just going to let that go. But if you went around and collected up, I've probably got hundreds of these actually. Yeah, I've got hundreds of these. You could actually just collect these all up, and these would all be viable rootstocks. And yeah, that's probably one of the reasons something like M9 is a good rootstock, because it was cheap to produce more of them, because it just did this, especially if you just mound it up. So that's where you can make your own rootstocks. I don't know what the name of the person is who asked me for that on a video, but yeah, as I'm digging these up, especially this year, I don't know why, I have literally got millions of these, and I don't leave them on for customers to have. Maybe that's mean of me. Maybe I should leave them on and give them free rootstock. But I doubt most customers want those bits off, those bits on the trees that they buy, so I chop them off. But yeah, that is the way you make rootstock. Yeah, other than that, all the trees are looking happy. Like I said, I've got my seedlings here. Further down, I've got more seedlings and more seedlings and more seedlings, and it's a bit mad, but it is actually quite exciting, and I hope that. So as I said, I've got that 1516 named. Yes, that's what I'm losing it today. I'm very busy at the moment. So next year, Sima June will be available. The other one which will be available next year will probably be Lulu, which is seedling 108, which is quite a dark looking handsome apple, and I think that's a Rubinola cross with a is it St. Maudlin or Maudlin? Open pollinated Rubinola. Lulu's named after Elizabeth Dowell, the artist who did the apple portraits for Joan Morgan's book, and also her pear book, which I'm reading right now, because I keep finishing books and then I remembered I haven't read the pear book. So yeah, she's got her own apple because I've got some, she's doing some paintings for me of my seedling apples, and I decided to name an apple after her because she really liked the look of it. It's a very, very pretty apple. So anyway, and I don't know, I might release a few others next year. Certainly seedling 13 was very popular, but that's not been named yet. 39, my friends Chris and Mary, they like that apple, so they could name it whenever they like, but I will actually release that one as well because that was really good. And there's a few others that friends have, basically if a friend comes around and they like an apple, I let them name it, and hey presto, and a customer's come to pick up their trees, so I'm gonna hide over here so that I don't have to stop making the video. Okay, so let's try some apples here. So we've got Gold Rush. Gold Rush is pretty good. So interestingly, they didn't see me. Interestingly, yeah, Primrose Pippin is a Gold Rush seedling. You can see some similarities between the two, certainly. This tastes, the Primrose Pippin tastes like you hopefully hope this one tastes like. So a lot of varieties, you feel like, okay. Once you try the Primrose Pippin one, you sort of feel like the other ones are lacking a little bit. Now, if you like sweet stuff, actually Primrose Pippin is quite sweet, so maybe it will wipe out my taste buds. So I'm not going to... Oh, it's nice and rainy. Hey, there's some mistletoe. And mistletoe berries. Ooh, dare me to eat one. So I'm not going to try. I'm not going to keep trying Primrose Pippin between takes. This is Orin. Slightly on the turn. It's also a smallish one. I've eaten all the big ones because it's so close to where I work. I come to this one and eat all the yummy, yummy orange. Look at all these crab apples. Let's go through here quickly because it is getting rainy. Yeah, thinking back to that video last night, I was watching all this. Yeah, it's nice and looks nice in California, mate. So this is Merton Russet. This is really nice Merton Russet. I should produce more of these. All the Merton varieties are actually quite a high standard. Yeah, this is a really good russet. That one's a bit soft. Flavor's still there. Yeah, that is really, really nice. It is a really interesting, rich flavor. Strong acidity, but also sweetness. It's... How similar is that to Nonpareil? Let's try Nonpareil. So this is Ananas Renette. It's not that ananasy actually, it's not that amazing. I'm not going to try everything because I can't be bothered. And I believe me, I try all these all the time, so I'm not going to try the rubbish ones. So this is Nonpareil. Maybe not the best looking apple. Texture wise it's gone, but it has a very interesting sort of, I suppose, like artificial watermelon flavour to it. To use the standardized flavouring metaphors? I don't know. Adjectives? Yeah, it behind some sort of textural flaws, because it's sort of soft and a little bit fluffy. It has this flavour in there, and obviously this is one apple that things have been bred from. So yeah, within it there is a lovely flavour. Is it as good as this one? No, Merton Russet's nicer. Okay, good experiment. Let's race through. Let's see, is Alan's Everlasting any good this year? It's quite a flat apple, look at that. Whose idea was this? So, a lot of apples at this time of year don't have much depth of flavour. That does not. This is knobby russet. Where's the knob? Who's the knobbiest of the knobbies? No, not knobby. It is knobby russet, yeah. They're not very knobby this year, and they're not very russety. No, it's not a good. It's not a knobby year this year. These are the glorious stripes. If you don't like pesticides, look away. But it makes it much easier. I mean, I don't know if there's an alternative way to kill off the grass without pulling it out. Let's not go there. If you don't comment if you don't like that sort of stuff. This is winter banana. It is a very, very pretty apple. Does it taste good? No, not really, but very pretty. Look how lovely the weather is today. Look at this glorious day. Let's keep going. Oh wait, was that a good one? No, that's Diamond Jubilee. I have a few favourites at this time of the year. By the way, I don't work outside when the weather's like this usually because I plan a few days ahead. I'm not that keen, but if I have to, I do, and it's a muddy time of the year. I don't know if any of you do outside jobs, but it's a muddy, horrible time of the year. This is Fuji. It needs warmer weather, I think. This is a very famous apple which, for litigious reasons I won't name, but yeah, some people call it Crips Pink. They're very pink this year, quite ladylike. I wouldn't say, I mean, it is a stunning apple. I wouldn't say it's never really worth growing. It does hang around quite late, like it's better than the Fuji. I can see the qualities of it, but it's also, I mean, it's nowhere near as good as this one. Yes, it looks better, all right, but you know, in comparison, it's covered in dirt from a pocket. It does not even come close to the Primrose Pepper. But then again, that's an apple from Australia. It's not to be grown here. Pretty. I'm just going to try seedling 70 again. It's like a more dilute version of Primrose Pippin. God, this weather. It's drier and it's more dilute, but it's not bad, but it's nowhere near as good. Are there blobs of water on the screen maybe? Let's go through quickly then. What's this golden russet? Is that a good apple? Don't really know much about this one. No. It's mediocre. I don't know if it is the golden russet from the States or if not. That's a really nice apple, Brooks, but this is way past its best. It sort of has gone a bit rubbery on the tree. Here's the really good one I was talking about earlier. I've completely stripped the tree, but it was caked in fruit. This is Cheerful Gold. That is really, really nice. Interesting, it has gone softer because it's had a few cold nights. This is the apple called Temptation. Obviously a golden, delicious seedling. It's quite good. I can't sell this either. I'm starting to go off it a little bit. It's got a weird sweet flavour to it that it reminds me of some apple somewhere that I'm not that keen on. Maybe it's a little bit like a supermarket flavour of apple. Lovely, lovely weather. Ooh, I mean, that's going to be tiny. This is seedling 27, which is going to be called Pavley Pippin, or Pavley Pippin. No, that's too small. So interesting. These are primrose pippin trees. That one snapped because I had too much fruit on. And the fruit on them, this has been on the ground for months now. The fruit on them do look different. So when a tree is younger, you get slightly different looking fruit which perform differently. And that's just the way it is. I've no idea if the screen is actually gonna... I reckon the camera's working quite fine in this. Good old modern phones. This is Golden Rob. Not Golden Rob, Golden Knob. Still interesting. Very unusual small apple. I like the flavour of it. It is a bit past its best. There's more mistletoe. So yeah, kissy kissy. Yeah, lots of interesting colours. This place is stunning actually. The other morning it was very frosty and it looked good. Not so much today, not very inviting, but there's a nice warm fire in the house waiting for me and 4 kids who are going to go nuts when I walk back in the house. Because it is a Saturday. Oh no, it's a Sunday. This is Francis. I don't know if Francis is still good. No, merci. Oh, this is a Frank P. Matthews apple. This is called Christmas Pippin. They've got a good name with that. It's not bad, it's very sweet. Texture is a little bit off already, but yeah, lovely sweet flavour. It's very juicy. So you get your trees from them if you like that one. Ooh. Right, these aren't going to be very good anymore. This is Norfolk Royal Russet. I've picked all the good ones. Oh, I do have to say, these labels were made by Hillary. Oh, this is embarrassing. I've forgotten her name. Someone watched my videos. I'm really sorry. I think it's Hillary. I feel really bad now. If you make these, please comment on the videos. A lady watched my videos and she's a pottery maker and sent in some lovely labels, and they're not very obvious until the winter when all the leaves have come off the trees. And I just want to say thank you. I think it's Hillary. Really embarrassed that I've forgotten your name. Anyway, thank you very much. Also, I think she said on her letter, if you do, you don't have to send me stuff, by the way. That was very generous of you to do that. But if you do want labels like that, little clay labels, you can contact her. But I'm not gonna. So she needs to message me. She needs to comment on the video, and then other people can get lovely labels from her if they want them for their trees. So yeah, but yeah, you don't have to send stuff in to me at all. That's very kind. I was very appreciative, and I'm sorry it's taken a while to say thank you. I'll probably remember your name at some point at the end of the video, and I'll say it properly. Thank you. But anyway, let's try the Norfolk Royal Russet. Oh, way past its bar. Never mind. We tried. William Crump's a late season apple. Is this going to be good? That is very good. See, it has over-fruited massively. But that is a good apple. Late season apples that hold on to their texture and keep their acidity are very good. Golden Hills is still on the tree. Wow, you can try this apple in sort of late August. Is it still good? No, it's gone. So some of these Czech apples are good. Andrea, that's a big ugly thing. Yeah, not bad. Angold. They're a little bit same. Meteor. It's a big apple, isn't it? Blimey. That's very sweet. No. Like they're good apples, but they're not sensational. The Czech ones that I sell, Rica, Rubinola, Topaz, they're better than these ones. Rubin Step, that's past its best. This one, Ruckler, is actually quite good. I'd say the flavour is very, very sort of weak and diluted, but at the same time, it's a very nice apple. Yeah, it's over-fruited. Actually, I've picked all of the good fruits off this tree, and quite a few of these and given them away, actually. So that's why there are not many good ones left. Okay, let's go up here, and then I'm gonna get in the dry. Crab apples. They look nice, but at this point they look kind of rubbish, where the fruit's still on the tree, and it's just moldy, horrible looking fruit. So I don't know, I don't quite get ornamental crabs. I know some people think of crab apples as the little ones that you eat. Generally speaking, it's sort of, I think definitely in England we've got more ornamental crab apples, and yeah, they do that, and then you think, it's not actually a nice looking thing. It's, the fruit is past its best and it's gone mouldy on the tree. Ooh, okay. This is one of the nicest apples. That one's probably still good, actually. So this is overcropped. This is Rubinet. Look at all that wasted fruit. Well, basically, it's overcropped. I should thin this out, and I should think about it every year. And all these little baubles are completely tasteless. This will be good. I can tell which ones are right. That's still undersized. This will be fantastic, actually. I'm excited about this. That is. I will miss that, because like the primrose pippin, like any fruit, you have a certain time to try it and enjoy it, and then it's gone. It's gone for the whole season, and then it comes back next season, so you anticipate next season. Like I said earlier, I think about the primrose pippin and I'm excited, and I have to wait through pretty much the whole of the fruiting season, like the cherries and the plums and the pears, and then you get the primrose pippins in sort of November time. Throughout the whole of November I've been munching on them, giving them to people, and then it's gone. Then you miss it, and then it comes back again. So this is one of the apple flavours that is just flawless. An absolutely flawless apple, that. Like I've pointed out, the tree isn't without its flaws, but if you get the fruit properly, it's flawless. And it will go in my pocket and get covered in dirt, and I'll still eat it. But yeah, the other day I was thinking about the fact that I tried my last pear. So it was actually about the middle of November. All of my commises that I'd sort of stored up, I'd had my last one, and that was it. I'm gone. No more yummy pears for the rest of the year. I'd sort of sat there at dinner, at dessert time after every dinner, chopped up pears for myself and my kids. We'd enjoyed them, and then it was gone, just like that. Scarlet Nonpareil. An odd sort of apple saucy flavour to that. Apple juicy, apple saucy. Texture's not great, but I think it's Hilary Fox, the lady's name. Is it Hilary Fox? I think it is. And yeah, I probably still have her letter. So if you do want those labels, I'm going to show you another one of the labels now. Then you can actually probably contact me, because I think I know where the letter is now. That is how bad my memory recall is. I would maybe pass the cognitive test that President Trump passed, but maybe not, because I forget stuff. Like, there's one of those nice ones. Braeburn Peachy Wine, that was a lovely label. So here's Braeburn Peachy Wine, or as it's known, just Braeburn. Look at that shape, it's like a torpedo. Very streamlined, like a tuna. But it's, I guess if it's really windy, the wind flies over this and the apple stays on the tree. Is that why it's there? So I called it Peachy Wine. I think Hillary called it Peachy Wine. Basically, I did a video one winter, maybe in January, where basically all the other fruits are basically gone, wiped out, and this Braeburns, when they over ripen, actually develop some interesting flavors, and I'll be interested to see what the flavors are like in this. And it tasted just like peach iced tea, so not peachy wine, but peach iced tea. It's not quite there, but it's definitely on its way to becoming actually a half decent apple. Braeburns are typically a bit acidic, a bit boring, dense-ish, juicy-ish. Eventually they actually sweeten up. This is on its way. So yeah, peach iced tea, almost. Oh, lovely day. So also actually, when the trees, that's Santana, that's actually not a bad apple, but it's probably past its best. When the trees reach winter time, I'm going to go back down the hill. When trees reach winter time, I can't tell which tree is which, because I'm used to seeing them with their leaves, and the leaves are actually quite distinct. And when you don't have the leaves, you can't tell which one is which. Or I can't, because I know these trees. Well, past its best. This apple is just called Kent. Kent is the county I live in and have always lived in. Interesting. I don't know if this one will be good. It's past its best, but no, that's very nice. Mmm. Mmm. Hard to describe that flavor, but it's really nice. Good texture, good balance. Skin's a bit thick, but the flavor, it tastes a bit like peach yogurt actually. Peach, well, apricot petit filou. Yeah, apricot petit filou. Petit filou is a brand. No, petit filou is a yogurt that little kids have, and dads basically finish all their kids' food, and they have a strawberry flavour, a raspberry flavour, and a peach one, apricot one. Yeah, I'm partial to all of them, but maybe the apricot. And yeah, I don't know. They basically advertise that it's full of calcium, so it makes children's bones stronger. But obviously, all yogurt things have calcium in, and obviously, petit filou is ram full of sugar, but advertisers, eh? This one is called Allington Pippin. So this is a local apple, because Allington is just over there somewhere, 3 miles away, and it's where the river goes. And if you run from my house to Allington and back, it's a half marathon. So I've done that a few times. But yeah, Allington Pippin was George Bunyard's sort of one of George Bunyard's apples, or maybe his dad. I've never found it very good. That was really soft and horrible. So as much as I respect George, he's an absolute don, and sadly he killed himself before he ever published the greatest apple book ever, and all this work got kind of nicked. And, I think he was in debt and stuff, and he was maybe a bit of a weird character, but also an absolute genius. Yeah, I don't know about Allington Pippin, unless that's the wrong apple. It's not that great, but he said it was very good, and everything else he writes about apples is bang on. So, and I've bought a few of his books, and they were expensive, but I still bought them because they're really old, and then I bought the new editions because I don't want to touch the old ones because they're expensive, and I generally read in bed and then fall asleep with the book on my face. That seemed a bit disrespectful, but anyway, yeah, he's on the ball with everything, but that seemed wrong. All this stuff about pears and cherries and mostly apples are all correct. I don't understand the Allington Pippin thing. I've got to try it again at some stage off a different tree. Anyway, this is leather coat russet. It just tastes of old apple, but you can feel the leatheriness in the texture. Oof, it's almost an hour into this video and we've outlasted the rain because the rain is gone. I don't know why I'm going down the hill. I'm probably trying to find this apple, which is Alkmini. So Alkmini, I don't know why I've bothered because it's clearly overripe. It's overripe. Okay, let's keep going up the hill. Ooh, Merton Worcester. This will be way past. It's an alright apple. I was saying about Merton apples, I guess. I have also come up with another list of what I'm going to breed for next year, which includes pears and cherries and more plums, because by this time next year I'll probably have about 3,500, well, there's a Red Windsor apple seedlings on the go, of which a lot of them probably this year will start to fruit, because those 20, that was a little bird's nest thing, what's left of it there, the 2014 grafts, some of those are going to fruit this year. I've got 2013 grafts again, about 600 of those as well, which will probably start fruiting this year. Then I've grafted out the 2015 grafts. There's probably 500 seedlings in the nursery, and then I've got however many thousand this year coming up. So I will have almost overdone the apples, so it is time to actually do a few other things as well. So I've made a nice list of plums and cherries and pears that I'm going to breed. I reckon that's the next thing, because I don't think people are really breeding as many of those. There's not as much variation, let's face it, within cherries and plums. There's still good stuff out there, and maybe better stuff to come. There are bad cherries and there are good cherries. I tried them all this summer. Some cherries, the buttery ones which are rich in flavour, are unbelievable. Things like Merchant and I mean, I've got a big list of them. You'd have to watch. Did I make a nice video about it? Maybe not. Maybe I did. Mermat, things like that. They're just Emperor Francis. They're amazing. Same with plums. They're exceptional plums and sort of half decent plums, and then pears as well. There are some outstanding pears. Pears at their best are outstanding, but there are lots of pears where you sort of don't really know what you're doing with them, and they're a bit rubbish. It will be hard to test the pears because I'll basically have to pick the pears, store the pears, work out when they're ready, curse myself when they're overripe, and then try again the next year. But it's worth doing. This is Red Windsor. This is obviously going to be overripe. This is actually the red sport of Alkmini. Ooh, the flavour is interesting, but it's way overripe. It's so soft. It's weird. If a pear is soft, it's actually quite good, but these apples go a different soft, where it's not very fun to eat. Oh, look at all this. Lovely, lovely. I'm glad I did all my digging yesterday and the day before, so I can just stay inside today and pack trees, he says as he's walking outside in the rain. Okay, Sturma Pippin. This is actually a well-known late season apple. Not a looker, but it's usually good. Very nice, very nice. I mean, now it's actually quite chewy. The flavour goes after 1 or 2 bites because it's not that juicy. The skin is quite tough, but the initial flavour is good. And it's sort of rich, balanced flavour. I don't know. It's not as good as the stuff in my pocket. That's all I'm going to say. Hey, another bird's nest. This is 5 crowns, also known as London Pippin. Now look at that. 5 crowns. Wow, that is a stunning apple. Is it a good apple? No. No. There's no flavour to it at all. But please, please try it yourself. As I should say, all this apple tasting is very subjective. I am neither right nor wrong. You are neither right nor wrong. Please make up your own mind about all of this. I would hate to think that only the apples that I like should exist, because quite clearly that would make well, actually I have quite a wide range, but I go towards sweets. Some people like other things. Some people cook their apples into pies, some people cook their apples into puree, some people eat, do different things with their apples. So the more variation the better. That's why I kind of make these videos, so more people actually breed apples, so that we have more new varieties than just what I'm able to breed here. And also, I'm just in Kent. Some of these apples might do better in the west or the north, or a different country, I dare say, one of these far off lands. Speaking of far off lands, this is Gala, so let's see if Gala's still good off the tree. That's actually a very nice Gala. It's slightly gone a bit soft. The last few bites are a bit flavourless, but a bit like the peachy wine. I almost said a rude word there. Don't rewind. A bit like the peachy wine. It does have a funky, interesting note to it. Yeah, just sort of second sort of bite picks up. I mean, the texture is a bit soft now. It tastes like sweets. A bit like, I've used this before. It's a bit like a drumstick lolly. Yes, it's exactly like a drumstick lolly, which is interesting. That's winter banana again. That's the sound of a customer coming, but I will not show their license plate in case, I don't know, something happens. This is a bit like the 5 crowns. This is Calvial Blanc d'Hiver. So this is ribbed. Look at that. It's all the way around the crowns, although it's got more than 5 corners to it. Name that shape, but it's a very, very pretty apple. Very distinct. Alright, so cooking apple. They're actually quite pleasant to eat as well. So it's got the acidity. Big deal to me. Late season apples, keep your acidity. I was talking to a customer about this the other day. I don't give this apple much respect, actually. People really like opalescent. I just yank branches off the trees. It doesn't come off the tree. It's been ripe for a while. It's probably still half decent. It is very pretty, to be fair, if you like big, dark things. Alright, well, it's gone a bit soft inside. Yeah, I take it back. I give it no respect. It's an alright apple, I kid, but there are better apples. But it is pretty, and I think vain people like the pretty things. Maybe. I'm not vain. Although I did buy more boots like this, my cool funky boots. The Mucksters. Here's a plug. The RHS recommends the Muckster 2 for men. I got some for 50 quid. They're on sale. This is Samyang. This is a very nice apple. Irish. Let's hope that Ireland make the World Cup, because the more the merrier. And bless them, they deserve it after their comeback against, I want to say, Hungary. That was a really good week. That was a really good week, actually, of all the football in Scotland. England are boring. We'll make it to the World Cup with Scotland. good luck to them. That was cool. They're gonna, yeah, I'm sure there are lots of American viewers here. I'm talking about soccer, the Soccer World Cup. The draw was the other day. Yeah, Ireland and Scotland. I think Wales can still make it as well, maybe. But yeah, England are in it. Anyway, good luck to all 48 teams and Iran. Yeah, and yes, America are in it as well. Let's see, Shenandoah is still on the tree. I've picked all the Freybergs. There's one on the floor actually. I didn't pick all the floor Freybergs. Oh, that one actually looks really good.